Hello, everyone. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Rachel.
And this is So I'm Watching The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Season 4, Episode 4, Interesting People on Christopher Street.
Indeed, there were.
Yes, there was a John Waters on Christopher Street, and his name was Lazarus, which is even cooler.
And he was also wearing Dior.
Oh my god.
What a time.
That Midge outfit was unbelievable.
So good.
Okay, so I liked this episode. It ended in a weird place.
Yeah, with Midge falling into the orchestra pit.
And she did not get out.
Yeah.
Like, we did not see her exit the orchestra pit. And then it ended, and I have to wait a whole nother week to find out what happened to Midge. I'm a little concerned. I liked this episode. It was a little tonally like a left turn from the previous one, because obviously we were so bummed out about Jackie, but I really liked it. There's still a lot going on. Susie is still friends with those mob guys that like threatened to kill her in season 1, I want to say. Was that after the first Sophie Lennon thing? What was the reason behind that?
It's because Sophie left Harry Drake to go with Susie.
So Harry did it, that's right. But she's still friends with them, which is so fun to me.
Yeah, they're from the Rockaways.
Yeah.
You know, she's a neighborhood girl.
That's true. So they they're like just having lunch, and then she talks about how she needs an apartment, and they have like a former safe house, which doesn't appear that it was that safe because there's bullet holes in the window.
And just blood on the floor.
Blood everywhere.
Kind of like my very first apartment in Baltimore.
Oh boy.
Yeah. It's not great. I
have really blessedly only lived in suburbs my entire life, so I've never encountered anything like that.
I mean, it was off of Lochraven Boulevard, so it was in Towson, so it wasn't Baltimore City.
Okay. So
it was like little area right outside the city, so I don't know that it necessarily was a suburb, but they were just a lot of college kids lived in those apartments, and they were real old, and I don't know if it was a blood stain on the floor, but it looked like a blood stain on the floor. So
yeah. So that's the thing, though, is like it's actually a really nice space, and it looks right over Times Square.
That fucking view.
Amazing.
My God.
So Susie is like, yeah, 100%. And I think, I don't know, they have been played as like fun and sort of carefree enough that like when they were like, would just give us a cut of Susie Meyerson and Associates.
Yeah, but the fact that they were like, yeah, we'll give you a break until you start bringing money in. And then, as long as you give us a cut of Susie Meyerson and Associates. And she's just like, yeah. I don't know. It makes me feel nervous.
I'm nervous, but I don't know. It might work out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I like them and I like Susie with them.
Plus, I feel like money-wise, we've already had a Susie problem with the gambling. So I'm just hopeful that we don't like keep dipping into the like Susie's bad at money decisions thing. Because I would prefer if it was like fine.
She just needs a win.
Yeah, she needs a win. And this is not necessarily the episode for it, because Midge goes out on a bad date with a guy who won't stop speaking Spanish because he, as like a gimmick, kind of, I don't know, because she doesn't speak Spanish, and so he just keeps talking Spanish at her.
I think he was just really leaning on the fact that he like lived in Spain, and she thought that was really neat, and so he like didn't, because there are some people that like they'll say something funny and then you laugh and then they keep going, and then you're like
doing the thing, and you're like,
and then they don't know when to stop. So I think that's what happened with Liam, I think his name was, the pediatrician.
Susie rescued her from the date, and then they go back because it's movie night at the Burlesque club. And so they're talking about like relationships and stuff, and Midge comments that Susie hasn't been with anybody as long as she's known her. And so that's why she goes trolling Christopher Street to find out if there's a lesbian bar nearby. And she finds one and takes Susie to the lesbian bar. And I just assumed Susie was a lesbian, but I still don't know for sure after that scene at the lesbian bar.
Yeah.
Although she does kind of read Midge, because she's like, did you just like, go up and down Christopher Street asking men with carnations in their lapel? And she was like, no. And I was like, that's 100% what you did. She was trying to ask everybody. And so she basically just was like, I know where all the lesbian bars are. 3 doors down, there's guys fisting each other. And I just am like, it was so like, you don't need to be involved in my business because I know how to handle my own business and I am trying to make you happen as a business. I don't know. I mean, at this point, I feel like Susie is just doesn't want it either.
Yeah, and I mean, which I think is kind of fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really want or need to see Susie be romanced in that way.
Yeah.
I want her life to get to where she wants it to finally be. That's the one that I want for her.
And that's the thing about people like Midge, is that she just wants all her friends paired up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that's not for everybody. You don't have to be paired up with someone.
Right.
You don't, no, not everybody needs that. So she gets pretty mad at her. Susie gets pretty mad at Midge, and they're kind of like on the outs the rest of the episode, except for then Midge sends her a flower bouquet with $5 in the card. And she's like, well, she does know me. So I think they're probably fine now. We got Sophie back in this episode. She comes to Susie's new live workspace and she's like, I just need you to like help me because no one will book her. Harry Drake won't take her back. And she just like needs a leg up. I don't know. I feel like because Sophie was so famous and she had like the, you know, that one bad day on Broadway, I still think she could be famous again, in which case she would be a huge cash cow for Susie.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like just keep her.
Yeah.
As a client, you know?
Yeah. I just really like the fact that that Susie was kind of like, oh, you're blackballed. How does that feel?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Susie had to deal with that on her own as well.
Yeah.
So just kind of like, well.
Now you know what it's like.
Yep.
You know, maybe she'll be a little more receptive. And she did, like, Dawes even left, which is a lot. And she's like out of money, basically. It was like a little bit sad. And I loved the moment where she was like, I went to Harry Drake's office and they said he was golfing and wouldn't see me, but it was raining. And she was like, also, he walked right past me, so I know they were lying. It's so funny.
So great.
Okay. Abe did real dirty in this episode.
I knew he was going to.
Yeah.
He was absolutely going to open his big fat mouth.
I didn't realize this was what it was going to be about, though. Because, like, I didn't realize it was going to be like Asher dated Rose.
Oh, yeah.
So they are basically meeting with a lawyer to make sure everything is, like, okay about the setting a place on fire, a federal building on fire. And they're like having dinner, and it comes up that Asher dated Rose for like a couple of months, like 2 months in the 20s.
Mm-hmm.
And Maren Hinkle cannot pull off a Louise Brooks haircut.
No.
Just saying.
The only person that could pull off that haircut was Louise Brooks.
Or Isabella Rossellini.
Or
they have the same face.
Yeah, they do. They do.
And I think I'm like way on Asher's team about this, because it's like, he's like, it was 35 years ago.
Asher was hamming it up a little too much at dinner. And he kept
calling her Rosie, which is like...
and like he stood up when Rosie walked in, or Rose walked in the room, and he was just a touch too familiar.
I get that for sure, but like, then Abe basically threw him under the bus and was like, well, Asher's the one that went in the building, and he set the fire, and like, he also defaced the New York Stock Exchange. It was a hilariously done scene, and I actually have a huge soft spot for Jason Alexander, so I love when he pops up and stuff, and this is like a really fun role for him to be in. And then the whole thing basically gives him an idea for a really great play. So I can't wait for that to happen.
I wonder, well, because they kept talking about like the revolving door of relationships. I'm like, is he going to write Noises Off?
Maybe. Maybe.
Because I know I've seen Noises Off, but I feel like there's a lot of like this going on relationship wise with it. That would be really funny if
it would be super funny.
Yeah.
I loved that also. But then Abe got so gross about it because he was like,
he really did.
What are all the parts you touched on Rose so that I won't touch them anymore? And I'm like, what if he had sex with Rose? You're never going to have sex with Rose again?
Right. Yeah. No, it just like I was with him at dinner where he like excused himself and he kind of like whatever. But after that, I mean, it has been 30 some odd years. So you need to let it go.
Well, and also he was accusing Rose of having kept it. And because she was like, I've told you so many times that I dated him. And he's like, I'll admit I don't listen to you sometimes. And I'm like, that's exactly the problem. You don't listen to her.
Right.
And so you didn't know she had another relationship. How many relationships? Everybody was also just boning down in the 20s. You mean to tell me you weren't just hamming it up? And his excuse about like, oh God, the phrasing of it was so specific. I broke up with you because I wanted to finish my dissertation and told you maybe we'd pick it up again later.
Mhm.
What's a girl supposed to do?
Right. Exactly.
You can't hang your hopes on maybe.
Nope.
And also they have had such a successful marriage for 30 years
Mhm.
and 2 kids and they're like happy. I don't know. Abe really stepped in it in this episode, in my opinion. I don't know. It was just sort of mean. Although, and then also Asher left before the lawyer and the FBI guy were like done with that meeting.
I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah.
The lawyer probably was just like, Abe is different. So, so I'm sure, because he said he was like, there's some other background information that you need to know. So I'm sure he probably was then throwing Abe under the bus. Like,
sure.
He's a little like, whatever. Yeah. So I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the FBI agent basically was like, it seems like an open and shut case here. And he didn't write anything down.
The whole pen thing.
Yeah.
We're all looking for a pen. Oh, it was kind of like a who's on first thing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I did like that. If we cut back to the scene with Susie and Midge, Susie was telling her to date someone in the industry, which we are like, yeah, Lenny Bruce. Yeah, you should definitely just date Lenny Bruce. So now, because Reed Scott has been on the TV, he's like a late night host.
Mm-hmm.
I think Susie is going to get Midge on his show somehow. And then it's Reed Scott, so I feel like they're going to date.
Why?
He's famous. He's like a person.
Oh.
He's like on Veep and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So I just am sort of like, that's going to probably happen. Although I don't know, we're halfway through the season and we haven't met him in person yet. So I could be wrong. We'll see.
Just date Lenny Bruce. That's all we want.
Definitely date Lenny Bruce. Okay, so what else? Oh, Joel and May. Joel's new apartment is nice.
It is very nice.
Pretty nice. Not as nice as Midge's apartment, but it's pretty nice. And Shirley is still trying to set him up on dates and like sending girls to his club.
I mean, it's going to continue until something gets figured out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's doing it to himself.
He is. And well, he basically is telling May, he's like, we have to tell my parents about you because this can't go on. She's sending girls to the club. This is ridiculous. We're dating. They need to know. And she basically brings up the thing we talked about last week where she's like, I am Chinese. They are not going to be. Imagine your mother's reaction when she finds out. She starts writing down all the words Shirley's going to say. And I'm just like, ugh.
So yeah. I completely understand. But what did you guys think was going to happen? Were you just going to like not talk about it, not tell anyone? I mean, you're both interested in each other.
Well, she does say, I'm comfortable being a mistress.
That makes me sad for her because she doesn't deserve to be a mistress.
I'm not saying she does.
Well, yeah, I know, but but
I mean, if you, some people are fine with that. Maybe she's legitimately fine with that.
I know, but then she can't be shitty to Midge because she's kind of shitty to Midge.
She's a little shitty. Well, it's because she heard Joel and Susie last week.
But they were like that when they first met. May was still kind of sizing her up. And it's like, they have kids together. She is absolutely in the picture. So, like, you don't need to ice her out.
I agree. They just have this really electric dynamic that if I was trying to date Joel, I would also be very intimidated by Midge and I would lash out that way. I get it.
See, I'm just like, friends close, enemies closer type of thing. I would best friend the shit out of her. Oh my God.
But what I do love is when she's telling Joel that she's comfortable being a mistress. And he was like, well, I'm not. And she's like, you were with Midge.
Ow.
Call the ambulance.
Yeah. R.I.P.
I was like, I've just witnessed a murder. It's so insane.
Yeah.
It was a low blow, but it was a really good low blow because she knows that he cheated on his wife and that's why they're divorced and everything. I don't know. I kind of loved it. He's like, well, your parents know about me. And she's like, yeah, do you want me to write down all the words they said about you too?
She goes, I'm going to run out of paper.
And so I don't know. It does feel uneven. And Shirley is so meddlesome that she's obviously going to keep, like you said, keep going until something is resolved. So I don't know. He's a grown man. Also, he already had kids and stuff, so it's not even about that. I'm just sort of like, let him live his life. Yeah. Because even Rose and Abe have stopped pressuring Miriam to get married again.
Well, I think that they have just kind of given in to the fact that Midge is Midge.
Yeah.
And they're just kind of like, well, she's a weirdo. She's a weird one. And so we'll just let it go.
She's also dating because she wants to find companionship. So, but like, that's the thing is like, Joel has a girlfriend. So, I don't know, whatever. Shirley is going to have a full coronary whenever it happens, though. Midge is really turning it around at the at the burlesque show. She is like coming in with an iron fist like she always does, and just like, this is what needs to change, this is what needs to change, this is what needs to change. She makes Santino what's his name, Boise?
Yeah.
She just, and his face after she did it was like, what happened? He's like so confused. He comes in and he's like, Mitzi, get your ass on stage. And Midge is like, excuse me. Her ass is attached to the rest of her. So Mitzi, you're up will do. And also, you're a man and this is a ladies' dressing room. You will knock from now on. And it's just this whole thing. And he is so flabbergasted. It's so good. It's amazing. And he's just so confused. Like, like looking around for, he needs solidarity with somebody. And there's just like 40 women standing right there. Nobody. And I think that was the moment when they all were like, oh, Midge, I get it.
Well, and they all kind of were like hiding in the wings listening to her. Yeah. You know, and there's more people in the audience this time.
And there's a lot of women now. Yep. And the waitresses, Boise had to yell at the waitresses because they had just stopped to watch her set. I'm into it.
Me too.
I'm super into it. I like it a lot. Because I also like burlesque clubs to be an all genders affair.
Me too.
Like, bring a date there. It's like a sort of,
I mean, I've been to
saucy date.
I've been to a strip club where it was just me and a friend of mine named Barbie. But she like was there. I don't know how to explain it. Like, she worked for the company that sold them their credit card machines.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we went to go like pay a visit. And so then we just got to like hang out. And then the owner of the club gave us like $500 in ones just to like, it was an interesting time. Although I'm not the type of gal you want to take to a strip club with you, because I'm just like, you're not giving me enough face and I really need you to point your toe a little bit more. I mean, if you're going to like want me to like give you money, you need to like shake it for me a little bit more.
Less dead behind the eyes.
Yeah, could we maybe like light up the face a little bit more, you know, just really sell it, really sell the routine.
So we've also got a little more Gloria, which is the girl that Midge was in jail with. She's fun and weird. She's a little weird. She just keeps
nobody home.
And she just keeps saying really kind of off the wall shit, which is like an Amy Sherman Palladino special for characters like that, like sort of background characters to just sort of happen. And she really whipped their finale into shape.
Really good.
Amazing. Love it.
Slightly saved Trixie from getting knocked out by the curtain.
Yeah. Oh, poor Trixie. And then, I don't know, she's concussed at the bottom of the orchestra pit. I don't fucking know. I'm so concerned.
We also, what's his name? Alfie. Susie went and got Alfie and took him to her new office.
Well, she stormed out of the lesbian bar. I was into the waitress.
She was cute.
She was super cute.
She really liked Midge.
Bring Midge into a lesbian bar in 1960? What do you think is going to happen?
Okay, but then how come no one yelled at her how they could smell how straight she was when she walked in the door?
Because Midge 100% hooked up with her girlfriends.
God damn it. You guys don't know this about me. Nobody let me try to figure out if I was gay or not, because I was at an Indigo Girls concert with my lesbian friend and everyone around me where they were like, we can smell how straight you are. And I'm like, what the fuck? You know, and Miriam is a little bit more type A than I am. My feelings are hurt.
Yeah, but so Miriam went to college in like the early 50s.
I know, and it was an all ladies college, and that's just what you did.
Yeah, plus I feel like, I don't know, Jewish sleepaway camp, I feel like that's just what you do. You're telling me that one of her girlfriends didn't do stuff to her in the Catskills? Absolutely. Not Imogene, but someone else.
No, definitely not Imogene.
Imogene's too waspy for that.
No, absolutely not.
No, 100% Midge. Fold around.
Maisel.
Yeah, maybe that's just the like Rachel Brosnahan energy that's in there, but I have no evidence that Rachel Brosnahan fools around with ladies. I'm just saying she has the energy
She
of
does.
somebody who like would.
She's an electric personality.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
She feel it's a very Nomi Malone kind of, everyone who encounters her can't help but be drawn in. It's very like that.
I really want some chips right now.
Chips. I ordered 4 bags of chips from the grocery store, so we're getting some chips.
Obsessed.
So that is for the most part. Oh, no, I didn't finish. Susie storms out of the lesbian bar, goes back to the really sad, like grayish blue lit bar that she was drinking in a couple weeks ago when she was waiting on the check from the insurance. And she just grabs Alfie the magician and hauls him out the door and is like, "You're with me now. We're doing this." And then he's just like sobering up in her apartment. So we'll see. I'm interested to see where it goes. Yeah. But yeah, that was pretty much it. So we will be back next week with episode 5.
Yay!
Bye.
Bye.